And now, Effective Communication with Phil Zeller, CEO, Dale Carnegie, Southwest Michigan.
My friends, welcome to Effective Communication. You've heard this. I'm going to share it with you. You need to know this. Honesty is the best policy. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let me give proof. I'm going to give proof today that honesty is the best policy to you. It is so important that people believe you when you're communicating, that people trust you when you're communicating, that people realize you have integrity when you communicate with other people. It is so critical to your believability. In the world I live in Dale Carnegie, we talk about influence. If you had to sum up leadership in one word, it would be influence. Now, you can debate that. Sure, go ahead. And I'll be happy to take that debate. You can sum up leadership in one word: influence. Influence. What is the influence that you are putting on other people? Now, as we think about this all the time, we think about leadership and we think about what leaders are doing. What are leaders doing in our lives right now? The leader of your organization. Hey, maybe that's you. The leader of your academic institution, the organization you belong to. Hey, maybe that's you. Or maybe you're a leader of a business or of a political institution. And what happens is, as a leader, people are always watching you. They're watching what you do and why you do it and what you say. And they're checking to see if you follow through on what you do. And how do you follow through on it? Because it's not only important that you follow through with what you say you're going to do, but it's also important, how do you follow through? Let me give you an example. In the United States of America, in the last election, we voted for a president, our country did, and this president ran on the idea as a candidate that he was going to remove fossil fuels and that we were no longer going to become dependent on fossil fuels and we were going to move to alternative forms of energy. And with that promise, that campaign promise made, obviously it resonated with enough people that voted for him and said, yeah, we agree with what he's saying. So based on his values and what he shared, he was going to take us off fossil fuels because his thinking was that it would be better for the climate. And you can debate that issue as well. But going back to what his thinking was, he thought it would be better for the climate. Now, here we are, a year and a half into the administration, and gas prices have gone through the roof. Fossil fuels have gone way up, and it's not just because of what's happening in one part of the world. They've gone up. They've gone up all over the place in the world. And the interesting thing about it is we saw this coming, and we have a leader here in the United States of America who said, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to get us off fossil fuels. And so, of course, the price of fossil fuels are going up and up and up. And what eventually is going to happen is either you're not going to afford to buy them and you're going to look for alternatives. And in the meantime, it's a really tough road to sow because what's going on right now? Well, people are suffering in a lot of different ways. Well, again, when we think about it in this situation, if you make a decision to do something and people approve you to do it and then you go do it and then people are not happy with what you're doing, well, that's when you would use one of Mr. Carnegie's principles in communication. He'd say, if you're wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. And the way you would do that in this situation is say, I'm sorry. I was hoping that we would be able to do this faster. Obviously, we have a lot of other things to consider here in order to protect the climate. And the climate's very important to all of us and future generations and your children and your grandchildren. And we want the best for them. You want the best for your kids and your grandkids and the best world that they could live in, don't you? Now, that's called appealing to the nobler motive. That's another communication tool that we use in getting our ideas across effectively as a leader. So in these situations, what we need to do is if you're wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. And as soon as you do that, people are going to say, well, okay, you know what? They wanted this to happen, didn't quite go the way they wanted. Now they want to know what you're going to do. And what you're going to do is you're going to appeal to the nobler motive. And the nobler motive is something everybody can agree upon. And in this case, it's the well-being of our kids and our grandkids. And if we do that and stay true to what we believe, we maintain our integrity. Because people can understand that, yeah, it didn't go the way we wanted it to go, and there's other things in effect, and what are we going to do about it? So what you do as a leader and in communication, you take control of the situation. You admit if you're wrong quickly and emphatically. You appeal to the nobler motive, and you bring it back to what is going to be done to help, but eventually always staying true to that long-term goal that you want and making sure everybody is aware of it at every single level and that it benefits everybody inclusively, hence the nobler motive. So, my advice to you, my friends, be a good leader. Always be honest. When you're wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. And if you want to communicate effectively as a leader, always appeal to the nobler motive, keep your integrity, and you'll garner respect. Now go make it happen.